All right, guys. So let's begin. Okay. Genesis chapter 32. So Jacob went on his way and met him, meaning the angels of God, right there, angels of God. Maleke Elohim met him, okay, meaning met Jacob, okay. Plural, right, meaning more than one. And this is referring to God being more than one, by the way. That's a secret message of that the Trinity all the way back in Genesis. Now it goes back further than that, but let's continue. And God said, the angels of God said, Jacob, when saw them, so when Jacob saw the angels, the camp of God, this is. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. Sorry, Machanaim. Machanaim. Okay? Which means two camps. It is a place east of the Jordan named for Jacob's encounter with angels. Okay? And sent Jacob messengers before him to Esau, ahead of himself, right? Servants. His brother, so that's his brother, Jacob and Esau, okay? In the land of Seir, the country of Edom, and he commanded them, saying, Thus speak to my Lord. Ladonai, okay? Ladonai. Okay? Master, strong, master, Lord. More likely in this context, lowercase l, so that's in reference to people. How do we know that? Speak this to my Lord, Esau. Thus says your servant Jacob. So already coming at his brother with a heart of, hey, I'm not better than you. I don't want to be prideful. I don't want to be arrogant. With Laban, I have dwelt, so referring to Laban, and stayed there until now. So Laban, if memory serves from the last chapter, that would have been Laban being the dad of Rachel and Leah, I think. My memory serves. But this is currents. Bethuel, yeah. Rebecca. Oh, yeah. So brother of Rebecca, father of Leah and Rachel. Yeah. I know there was three names were connected somehow. I have dwelt there and stayed there until now, and have oxen and donkeys and flocks and men servants and maid servants, male and female servants basically. And I have sent to tell my Lord that I may find favor. Not that he guarantees, he's not sending them knowing that he's going to find favor, but that he desires favor. He hopes for favor in your sight. And returned to the messengers to Jacob, saying, We came to your brother Esau, and also he is coming to meet you. And 400 are men with him. So I think this is 400 or 104, right? Because usually we'll do this backwards. So 104. So I'm thinking 104 men. But it could possibly be 400. Okay. So I was afraid, right? Jacob greatly distressed. Very, very, very shocked. Don't like greatly. Obviously, we know what that word means. Distressed, right? Overwhelmed. Well, veyetzer, right? Stressed. See, suffer, distress. To be, oh no, what's going to happen to me? Unto him. Then he divided the people that were with him, and the flocks, and the herds, and the camels into two camps, right? So he divides all that he has in half. And he said, if comes Esau to camp one and attacks it, and camp the other shall escape. So, in other words, I want something to survive. So, a very smart plan. Divide his camps into two. That way, if one of them is attacked by Esau, because he don't know what the purpose of Esau coming to him is, right? So he's like, okay, let me divide the camps. If one camp is attacked, the other one can escape. And said Jacob, God of my father Abraham, right? Elihe, God, right? And we look down here, masculine, plural, yet again, right? God of my father Abraham, and God, Elohe, right? Plural, yet again, of my father Isaac, Yahweh, right? Yahweh. That's singular, right? That's Jehovah, the existing one, okay? Proper name of the one true God, existing, okay? The one saying to me, return to your country and to your family, and I will deal well with you. I am not worthy of all the kindness and of all the faithfulness which you have shown your servant. For with my staff I crossed over Jordan. This now I have become two camps. Deliver me, I pray, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. So he's praying to Yahweh. Okay? For I fear. Gives him the reason why he's praying to him. Right? Fear. I fear him, lest he come and attack me, and the mother with the sons. For you said, surely. So now he's reminding God of all his good words and promises that he's made. Surely I will treat well you and make your descendants like the sand of the sea. So he's holding God accountable to God's words and promises. Very smart move, okay? Which cannot be numbered for multitude. So he lodged their night. So basically he rested, okay, lodged, rested their night, that, and took of what came to his hands as a present for Esau, his brother. Female goats, 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes. The ewe is, doesn't say what it is. Okay. Anyway, 200 ewes, 20 rams, right? Camels. Actually, this might be backwards because it might be 200 rams, 20 camels. But no, I think it's 30, and with their colts, milk camels. Their colts milk. Because that milk's having to do with cows, because cows are the ones that do milk. Most don't. Okay, I got you. So it's actually 20 camels, 200 rams, 20 ewes, 200 male and female goats, the looks of it, okay, and 40 bulls, and 10 female donkeys, and 20 male donkeys, 10. So again, I might be wrong. This number stuff really gets me. I'll be honest with you. So I think it's 10 male donkeys, 20 female donkeys. Yeah, I think it is because there's no anything after. You know what I mean? Of the animal. So number has to be before the animal. So yeah, 10 male donkeys, 20 female donkeys, 10 bulls, 40 cows, 30 with their colts, milk. Oh, that would be mother cows, yep. But then it goes camels 20. So yeah, I'm not going to really make a whole lot of sense on that, to be honest with you. Not in the original Hebrew. And he delivered them to the hand of his servants, every herd by itself. Let's just put it this way: he picked out a bunch of stuff for his brother. I'll put it that way. And said, to his servants, pass over before me, okay, in some distance, put between herd and herd. So have distance in between each herd. And he commanded the first one, saying, when meets you Esau, my brother, and asks you, saying, to whom do you belong, and where are you going, and to whom are these in front of you? Then you shall say, they belong to your servant Jacob. A present it is sent to my lord Esau. And behold, also he is behind us. So he commanded the second and the third and all who follow. So gave the same orders to all of them. The herds saying in the same manner, basically saying, this you shall speak to Esau when you find him, and say to him also, behold, your servant Jacob behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goes before me. So he's kind of like preparing the essence that if my brother hates me and wants me wants me dead, right? I'm going to do this to kind of kindle my brother, or I guess lower my brother's hatred for me, and hopefully he won't then desire to kill me. Okay, and I will see afterward his face. Perhaps he will accept me. So I went over present before him, but he lodged night that in the camp. Okay, and he arose night that and took his wives. So two of his wives. Okay, so that means the number comes after whatever it's talking about. Okay, at least in this case, two his wives, and two his maidservants, and 10. So that would be, looks like 11 of his sons, and crossed over the ford, Mayabar ford. Okay, a ford, a passway. Okay, of Jabbok, and he took them and sent them the brook, right? That would be what? That would be water, most likely brook, right? A valley, torrent, water, okay? And sent over what he had, and was left Jacob alone. So Jacob was left alone. Anyway, so continue on. Jacob was alone, and wrestled a man with him until the breaking of dawn, right? So from night all the way to morning. Now, what kind of wrestle this is, we don't know. So let's look at it, okay? It is vaya avek, okay? To wrestle or to grapple, okay? Get dusty. So an actual wrestling, okay? Not like wrestling like TV, no. But just kind of like a tussling back and forth of the day. And when he saw that not he did prevail against him, then he touched the socket of his hip. So that would be like in front of the hip bone, okay? And was out of joint, the socket of the hip of Jacob. So basically, Jacob's hip joint was out of socket as he wrestled with him, and said, let me go, for breaks the dawn, right? And that is capital H, so that's whoever he's wrestling with. Breaks the dawn. But he said, that's Jacob, not I will let you go, except if you bless me, right? Sorry about that slight disturbance. Okay. Anyway, not I will let you go unless you bless me, right? Unless you bless me, okay? Bless, right? Do a blessing over. So capital He, said to him, what is your name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, not Jacob shall be called anymore. You shall not be called Jacob anymore. Your name, but Israel So your name is now Israel. Okay? For you have struggled with God, Elohim. So now we get a context of who this is he's struggling with. Elohim, plural. Keep that in mind. Not singular. So who is Jacob actually struggling with and wrestling with? The Trinity. Elohim. Right? God. Plural God. Okay? And with men and have prevailed. And asked Jacob and said, tell me please your name. Right? So he's asking him who is him. And he said, why this do you ask my name, about my name? And he blessed him there and called Jacob the name of the place Peniel. Right? Peniel, facing God. Okay? Place name where Jacob, when he wrestled with God and located on the north bank of the Jabbok, close to the Jordan. Okay? For I have seen God. I have seen God. So who is he? Who is it that he's seen? The Almighty God. Right? Plural. The Almighty Trinity Godhead. Okay? Elohim. Face. God's face to face. I've seen God face to face and lived. I have seen God face to face and lived. And is preserved my life. So right there, preserved, right? Because he already knows what happens when you go before God. If you see God, you can't be alive. Which is why he mentions this. My life is preserved, right? To not be snatched away, to not be to be torn away or be delivered. So my life is preserved, meaning my life was not snatched away, right? And rose on him the sun. So the sun comes up, just as he crossed over Peniel, and he limped. Remember his hip, on his hip. Upon this, not do eat the sons, right, of Israel. So the sons of Israel did not eat the sinew, the tendon, okay? Sinew, yid, is actually sinew, right? So meat and tendon, which is on the hip socket of the thigh today. This. So in other words, because of this story, right, they won't eat the meat or the tendons that is on the thigh or the hip socket of an animal. Because he touched the socket of hip of Jacob in the sinew, the tendon. Okay? So really not a whole lot to hand over to you guys as far as story-wise goes, right? So hopefully you've been able to follow along with all of this. Yeah. Hopefully you have been able to follow along with this. Hopefully it makes sense to you, okay? Hopefully it really does. But the only thing I can say, right, as far as how I can kind of connect this to you in a little bit of is we can get in our mind, we don't know what the purpose of things is, and we can take guesses, right? So in the same way that Jacob was like, I don't know what my brother's coming towards me for. I want to be prepared both ways, okay? You need to deal with that as well, okay? It is smart and it is prudent and it is wise to make choices both ways for the outcomes. Because a lot of times in life, you don't know how the outcomes are going to be. We don't know this. We can only know that it's in God's hands, right? So you have to trust Him enough to go, okay, yes, it could go this way. I have to make a plan. And you making the plan is not you not trusting God. You making the plan is you trusting Him, but acting upon the trusting of Him. Okay, just as in the Old Testament, Joseph, when he understood the dream, he acted upon the trusting of what was revealed to him, and he came up with a plan with God's help for what to do. Okay, So I hope you get the idea. Okay. Anyway, guys, take care and be blessed.